All right, so back to this. Continuing, carrying on. Not really. I thought I was done with this series. I'm gonna be honest. And then I completely forgot, the main thing that I planned to do when I actually concluded this, because I should have realistically done this before the holidays, but I just forgot. And the reason why I was reminded was because I joined the Reddit, right? Because I wasn't gonna join the Reddit before I finished the game, and I saw someone else's tier list, so I'm like, all right. It reminded me to do my own, because I did plan on doing my own. I think so. The only fan game I've done where I've actually done a tier list is Insurgents, right? And I plan on doing it for this, and chances are I'll do it for Rejuvenation. But again, it's better for me to do it now. Again, because it is I while it's all still fresh. Again, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna remember some of these characters. That's kind of the reality. There's so much going on, and fuck, you could literally see how many characters there are. Some I'm just not gonna be able to remember, right? But out of the ones that I do, right, again, right, we're gonna rank them, right? We got what? SA. I do want to add another. What the hell did I just do? I want to add another tier below. And this one will be don't remember, right? Or by don't remember, here's what, again, if I just don't know a character, in my eyes, they're not significant enough for me to if I, after playing through literally the entire game, don't remember them. If I can't pin a name to a character's face, they're falling in this. And to me, they just weren't significant enough of a character to actually keep track of. So, right? Let's get into it. First character. We're already off to a bad start. Is this Shelly? I swear to God, if I'm wrong, Shelly Reborn. If this isn't Shelly, okay, it is Shelly. All right, so Shelly, the bug type leader, is she the one? I'm gonna be honest, dude, I'm just putting him in don't remember. If I can't name a character off the top of my head and say what they did in this story, I'm putting them in don't remember. No offense if they're your favorite character. It's just they weren't significant enough to me. Because fuck, look at the list of characters we have. And some of them I do if you watch my playthrough, or at least part of it. You probably know my opinions about some of them, but again, right? All right, Shade. I'm putting Shade in C tier. We really don't see a lot of him, right? What I will say is I'm automatically including him because he was what stumped my run the first time. He was what prevented me from progressing without using passwords. So, difficult enough fight to cause me to need to use passwords in the game. I wouldn't say it was an unfair fight. It wasn't the big top. But, again, and then other than that, we just don't really see. I don't even really remember what his lore is. I don't really remember a lot about his character. Obviously, I remember who he is. He has it's pretty hard to not. But again, it's it's hard to remember even what his significance in the story was, right? What he did. I don't know. Maybe I just have horrible memory, but I just genuinely don't really remember what he even really did. All right. I genuinely don't remember who that is. I probably should, but I don't. DJ, the DJ, right? I don't remember what his actual name is. He doesn't really make an appearance until the post game anyway, right? C tier, same reason as a Shade. I just genuinely don't remember. I should know who this is, but I don't. You're going to see this a lot because, there's just so many goddamn characters. And it's so hard to keep track of, nearly, if I were to go back and actually look into these characters. And wait, this is, ZZZair, right? I'm pretty sure this is, that character, right? What's their name? Dude, I wish I did this, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, this is Jesus Christ, it's an A fucking name. That's gonna piss me the fuck off. Um, that's gonna piss me off. But I'm throwing them in C tier because I remember who they are. They do like the whole. They kind of come out in the post game, right? Like they're not really relevant. Again, like their characters isn't relevant enough, right? But I remember again. That's why I'm like, dude, it's so fucking hard to remember with how many goddamn characters there are in this game. Like, dude, I swear there are characters that just spawn, have like one interaction, and then leave. Like, all right. Anyway, Titania. All right, an actual character that I kind of semi remember how their art goes. B tier, right? I'm putting them in B tier because they actually do have like a kind of significant story impact throughout the game, at least in the playthrough I did. I mean, besides their falling out with Amaria, probably their biggest impact was that they killed Taka, right? You know, they killed, which I mean, for other playthroughs, depending on the route, that would be a different outcome there, right? But in the one I played through, she had a pretty significant impact there, right? You know, and then also like is still a character we like kind of interact with and are pretty kind of close with throughout the rest of the main story as well as even the post game. Versus like these three were, or the Adrienne, it's Adrienne for this guy, right? I remembered it. These three we don't really like interact with at all really during the post game. I mean, we interact with them. It's just their character arcs aren't really super relevant, or they just don't have one, right? Versus Titania, where we know their arc, find out similar to Amaria's, is one of sort of, you know, battling. Again, basically, we're able to see their character development, right? With how many characters there are some that don't get any, you know, and some that do. All right. Next, Solaris. I'm going to put Solaris in A tier. I'm putting him A tier because I've talked about this. I definitely think one of the best aspects about this game is Team Meteor. I think one of the best aspects about this game, probably one of the best antagonistic teams we're actually going to see in any fan game. And I think Solaris as a character is done, as the leader of Team Meteor, is done extremely well. I think literally the only flaw with his character was we didn't get actual like closure. Like we saw that, you know, he fought with Lynn and then, you know, he was bleeding out from, and that was literally the last we saw of him. You know, we didn't see his character really beyond that, right? So it's just something to where, with that in mind, right? We just didn't get the close that I don't remember who it was that was actually like looking after or like taking care of him in those like final moments. I don't remember who exactly it was, but like, I mean, that's really my only critique is we didn't get some like definitive end to Solaris. I mean, other than that, his entire character from the moment he wiped the floor with our team with his level 75 Garchomp through his entire development, you know, as the leader of, I just think his character arc was done so well. Like, I really do like his character. I just think that's the only thing that's holding it back is the fact that we just didn't get complete closure, right? So, all right, moving on. Amaria, also throwing them in B tier with Titania. I mean, you can't really do one without the other when it comes to their characters. I think these two characters are, I think what these two characters do well is it shows characters who like aren't entirely pivotal to like the story, right? Like they don't I mean, they kind of do fight team. They don't, it's, again, they're not that invested in it, right? It more so, they're like, it's the perfect example of like a side sort of story. You know, you have these two characters and their relationships going on, right? You know, that's a good example of like, okay, sort of that relational aspect to the main character, right? But not being super pivotal to like the main story, but still being able to flesh out, you know, a drama and romance between these two, right? So again, I think that's a good example. Hardy, I'm throwing Hardy in C tier. I just don't, again, like, this is like really don't remember. As in like, I guess I got this person's name as Shelly. I genuinely don't remember who this is. again, it's just there's so many characters in it. I don't remember all of them, right? But Hardy, I do remember. Because who is he related to? Or he's related. Is he related to Titania? I think he is. Yeah, I'm starting to remember his character more now. I'm gonna bump him up to B tier because again, his character also went through like, I mean, not as sort of like in relation to an arc character, but his character did go through his own like sort of character arc, right? But again, it's like I guess similar to Adrian, but we see him more in the main game, right? So it's like we get more out of his character across the entirety of the game, right? So Zell. I'm throwing Zell in A tier. I think as a villain, right, obviously it's the components of, what is it? So Zell is Zero, Emma, and Lumi. If I recall, it's Zero, Emma, and Luvi. Or it's even Lumi. Zero, even Lumi, right? And I mean, I already got some of them next, but I was going to say, let's make this easy. Because this is Eve, or this is Lumi. Eve, Lumi, where's Zero? Is he actually on here? Is Zero on here? I feel like he is. Am I blind? Is Zero not on here? This isn't Zero, is it? Right? I don't know. Yeah, this guy isn't Zero. Is Zero even on here? All right, I guess I don't know. I'm blind. And I'm going to put... Because honestly, I will say I do have... I don't know where the fuck I pulled this guy from. I like low key out of like almost any of the media, like I and this is another reason why I think Team Media are so well done, is like the admins each get like fleshed out like in a really good way. Like we actually get their characters fleshed out, and again, the whole thing with Zell with the tri personality and being as a result of the entire first, again the whole first freaking Pulse, right? Like I think that's really well done. And again, you know, going from like, because I'm pretty sure Zell might literally be the first Team Meteor admin that we encounter, right? Going from that to, again, all the way through, like it's just so, honestly, I'm gonna bump him up into S tier, because I think like as opposed to Solaris, where his main issues we just don't get closure, we do get closure on his character, right? Like again, am I blind? I don't see Zero on, or Zero on here. I don't know. Anyway. So there's that, right? I don't remember who they are. I'm trying... Dude, there's just so many characters. I don't remember who they are. This is Heather. I don't remember. Again, like... Okay, this guy, Elias, I do remember. Elias. I'm putting Elias in B tier. I'm going to put him in A tier. And the reason being, again, and he ties in with Solaris, and this is another reason why I don't have Solaris in S tier. The game, it doesn't capitalize on the whole Team Meteor's past, right? And I talked about this in terms of my issues with the game, right? Like Team Meteor's past, I mean, we get glimpses in snippets into it, but it's never really like fully expanded upon, right? And it's something to where I think if they had went more down that route, these two characters could fully realize their potential. But I think Elias, because it isn't, you know, it doesn't, right? And I think Anna's in a similar case. I'm gonna be honest. I understand that she had some relation to like Lynn and like Noel in that entire storyline. I'm gonna just already throw Noel in there, right? Because I know this guy's Noel, right? I'm pretty sure that is Noel. I know that there's a... Oh, my freaking power off went... My headphones powered off for whatever reason, but it doesn't matter because there's no music anyway. But yeah, I understand that there was like a whole character arc. Honestly, I'm gonna bump these three down because like, again, it's a question of like these three with the amount of exposure they even had. It's a question of whether they should have even really been characters to begin with, right? But with, again, these two, it's just like, again, I understand there was a whole sort of, but again, it's just, I really, again, and I hate to say it, like, I wish they would have. I honestly wish they had a more concise cast of characters, because it seems like whenever they needed, like, again, it's just like, because there was, again, the whole thing with frickin', I don't remember who all was a part of that orphanage group, right? I believe that's where a lot of these characters come from. But again, it's like, it's something where it gets twisted into the whole Lynn thing, and then it's like, again, you know, I just wish they would have done that better, because then I'd have better memory of it. But anyway, Dr. Connell. I'm throwing him in A tier. And it's, again, I could just solely because I think he had probably one of the best post-game missions. He was one of the people I did not expect to get character development at all. And they kind of pulled, like, I think it started with the whole, you know, freaking Paul Smime thing, right? Where they actually, like, legit killed him. And then it's like we got his backstory, and then it's like, okay, damn. Like, he's one of the characters I did not expect. I just thought it was going to be, like, blatant pure evil. But actually, I guess, gain his, like, backstory, you know. I mean, I'm not keeping him in S. And the reason being is that, I mean, it doesn't excuse what he did, right? Like, and I think there's a weird, like, you know, it's a weird thing where it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know if the game expects us to, like, excuse him. But, like, you know, again, I do think, like, I am genuinely surprised with the level of character development he's gotten. And again, the impact he's had on, like, I just don't. I'm pretty sure these were all of these people were part of the orphanage, but I just don't remember because it's been just so goddamn long. Like, and there's just so many goddamn characters to keep track of. It's just so fucking hard. All right. Lynn. I'm putting him in C. I wish this game would have made. I wish this tier list would have made a distinction between main game Lynn with the green hair. I'm surprised it doesn't. Like, I'm genuinely surprised. I wish it would have made a distinction between main game and post game. Because if main game Lynn, I would probably put up an A tier or potentially even S tier. But post game Lynn, again, I talk about it. Like, I just think the game would be so much better if Lynn didn't exist as a character. I like what they did with her in the main game. And I talk about this. Because she was effectively the antithesis of the protagonist. Like, she is the antagonistic equivalent of us. Just random character, pops out of nowhere, ends up fucking everything up, right? She takes over Team Meteor, right? And what it was originally due to her effectiveness and brutality, right? And overthrows Radimus, you know, again. And then, like, that's something that I actually, like, enjoyed her character arc in the main game. And then it just kind of goes to, like, shit in the post game where it's like, oh yeah, she's actually a god, somehow has godlike powers. It was actually a freaking Dr. Connell, you know, victim, right? But yeah, I mean, I just wish, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of these problems would be solved if they didn't just, if Lynn wasn't like the entire focus of the post game. I know we did these quests, and they did have some story relation to the art characters, but, I mean, the backdrop, it was always in the backdrop of Lynn. Like, again, I think it'd be a lot better, but don't remember. Like, I genuinely don't remember a lot of these characters. Sirius. I'm putting Sirius in honestly, hot take, I'm putting him in S tier. I think I do think it is funny how it's funny how, like, Sirius kind of became the, what's it called? I don't want to say de facto, but he kind of became the fall guy in terms of, like, okay, all the issues that, you know, stunted out of Team Meteor, because they went the whole route of, like, okay, you see Solaris actually hails from this, like, family of protectors, and Team Meteor didn't. Again, given they went that whole story route, right? Someone needed to be the fall guy for, like, the evilness of Team Meteor. And how they did that was Sirius, like, you know, I still remember Sirius betrayed Solaris, where he, like, basically mocks him for, you know, Taka dying, right? And saying, like, yeah, Team Meteor is no longer yours, buddy. Like, low-key Sirius, probably one of my freaking, like, just pure love of the game. Like, I love him for the freaking opposite reason of Zell, right? where he's just like unapologetically like evil, right? You know, but I really do think they do the admins at Team Meteor quite well. AIM, C tier, she just gets killed by Lynn. Like, honestly, I'm dropping her a D tier because she gets killed by Lynn, and I don't remember anything else. I think a more accurate way would be, so D tier would be little, I'll put not much significance because I just don't. If my logic is if I don't remember, it probably wasn't that important. Shade, I don't remember having much significance. DJ, I can't remember what this dude's name was. It was DJ something. If I can't, again, same thing. C, I'd say I'm like kind of indifferent to, right? Indifferent. Can I spell indifferent? Because then B and above are characters I actually kind of like, right? But this is like, C tier's like meh. D's like I don't. And then I just genuinely don't remember. Bennett. I'm putting him in indifferent. I don't know why they redeemed him. Again, it's just weird because it's something where it's like it's a character of like I think and this is why I love a lot of like the early Team Meteor admins, but like the people who ended up just being like mercenaries for Team Meteor and then like quitting, like he became a fucking Elite Four member after trying to kill us using a fucking. He literally, if you recall, Bennett was the one who put us in Pulse Hypno. So he was the one who actually came the closest to like beating us because he basically trapped us in our own mind. So if we're being real, like he's the one who technically like would have done the most damage, right? But like, all right, like it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, you know, now he's a good guy. He's not, all right, whatever. I was going to say that was Julia, but this is Julia. I don't fucking remember who this person is. I don't like, dude. Ace. I'm putting Ace in A tier. The reason being, I don't think they get the same level of development as like Zell or freaking just, they don't have the same like just unapologetically. It's interesting because Ace had this whole kind of storyline going with Taka, right? Where they were, I guess, supposed to be the inheritors of the organization. And of course, that gets thrown awry with Sirius, Lynn, those shenanigans. And then the main thing is Ace gets killed off like pretty early. Like, is she the... I'm trying to think now. Ace might have genuinely been the first Team Meteor death. I mean, then she just magically gets brought back to life by Lynn. But Ace might have genuinely been the first Team Meteor death. Like, they might have genuinely been the first Team Meteor death. And that's something where it's like, you know, I think if they had, again, and then they just bring him back for basically no reason. I think they fall into the same issue as, like, Audrey, where it's like, if they wanted to do more with her character, I would have believed if Ace would have turned against Team Meteor. If Ace and Taka tag team turned against Team Meteor, right? Defy his father, you know, yada, yada, yada. Versus, like, fucking Bennett, right? You know, Bennett, and I'll throw Fern whenever Fern's ass comes up on the list. You know, I would have believed it more if, rather than have all these random-ass mercenaries that turn against Team Meteor, if they actually went with, like, a storyline of, like, Ace turning against Team Meteor. And, you know, I mean, they kind of do with Zell. But, again, I mean, that's more of, like, it's not really in the same capacity. That's more so just, like, you know, they are not entirely there, not fully, like, sentient, right? Like, that's a different capacity. That's more so, like, they gain clarity versus Ace, where it's like they have come to that realization that, okay, you know, Team Meteor isn't actually the way or the path, right? Don't remember this dude. Fucking Fern's ass. I'm putting him, I gotta put him above Bennett. I'm putting him above Bennett in B tier just because he is our rival, right? You know, and I will say I do got to give him props for, like, because he technically was legit the last Team Meteor member besides Lynn. You know, technically, you know, he was the last admin. He's literally, I think, the final person we face on Victory Road, right? So I do got to give credit where credit's due. But, I mean, I still think, I don't know why they went that direction with his character. And it's still a weird thing where it's like, oh, we're supposed to, like, forgive him. Even though, you know, they joined, it's like, you know, they just, what was it? Was it Cal or Blake? I think it was Cal it was Blake, who Blake's like, damn, they just let anyone into Team Meteor these days, you know. Again, it's just like, I don't cool if you wanted, like, they could have gone about other ways to, like, you know, he was already a dick, right? If they wanted us to actually, like, hate him, they could have done about that in other ways. I think it's just a lazy cop-out having, like, these two join Team Meteor and then automatically, like, redeem them. Don't remember. Freaking Radimus. Radimus, again, like, I know Radimus had a storyline with Noel, and again, it's just, I really wish the post game was different. I really wish it was, because I would, again, like, I really do wish it was different, but I really wish it was different, you know, because I think if it was, these people could have gotten more development, but this is Radimus, right? Yeah, I'm not being a fucking idiot. That's Radimus. I genuinely don't remember who this guy was. Luna. I'll put Luna with Radimus, right? They did. I'm going to bump these two up because these are, in their relation to Anna and Noel, like, that kind of escaped my mind. But their whole, like, thing, and then having the Gardevoir, right, that ends up dying, you know. Again, I will say I did like what they had going on, right? And all right, so fucking Samson. All right, I'm putting him in. I can't put him in not much significance because Samson was literally the fucking fight that nearly caused me to soft lock the game. Like, if you remember, we were in the big top, and we were just unable to defeat Samson. I had to capture a Hawlucha and use a Telluric Seed to be able to, with Unburdened, to be able to beat him. And I still don't know why they made it to where you're just cut off from the rest of the region with this stupidly hard gym fight. And I was using all the passwords too. So it is something where it's like, it is just kind of crazy to me. But like, so they did have a literal, like, I can't say not much significance because they literally had a huge impact on my playthrough. But again, right? So I'm keeping, you know, I'm putting him in C2. But other than that, his character doesn't really do anything. I can put frickin' what's her character's name? I don't even remember. But she was the I've saved Terra for later. But she was the other member of that. Also, cause I'm gonna be honest. Cause I remember these two characters, I just don't remember their names. It's gonna piss me off. So, oh my god, holy ads. Bro, they got so like Kane. Did I put Kane? There's no way I put Kane. I was going to say, yeah, my ass remembers Kane. Fucking get this stupid ass advertise. All right. So, Aster and Eclipse, right? Who the fuck is Corey? Yeah, I remember Sirius, Zell, Ace, Taka, right? You know, leaders of teams, Solaris and Lynn, administrators. I guess technically they aren't admins. Who the fuck is Corey? Am I dumb? Who the hell is Corey? Did I put Corey in here? Is that this? I don't even remember. Aster and Eclipse. I do, and especially because, like, if I hadn't gone through and actually, like, you know, brought them back together so that they could have their family reunion, I'd probably dump their characters to, like, D tier. But that entire sequence we got with these two, like, I think this is like, honestly, I'm putting them in S tier, you know, because they went through and actually, like, because this is a good example of, because I'm pretty sure they're siblings, right? Like, I think for, no, I'm going to bump them down to A tier because they don't get quite the same level of development as Zell, but, like, still, that it's like a good, you know, they get quite a bit of development as sort of the sibling pair, right, of Team Meteor, right? And kind of, you know, because they weren't, like, unlike Sirius, right? Because Zell was just kind of mentally, again, you know, Zell didn't have clarity because of their condition. You could tell Ace knew she was doing some evil. Like, I mean, Ace is like, you know, before frickin' Terra rolled around, Ace was like, she to her, it's like an act. It's a show. Sirius, love of the game. But these two, you could really, they were kind of the Team Meteor members who, like, it was like a job. It's like, okay, whatever pays the bills, right? For them, it's just like, that's what it's about. And I do respect them going that way, and especially because we got all the character development later on when in terms of bringing these two together with their reunion. You know, again, right? But I don't know if I can put on the same level as these guys, right? But don't remember. So we got Cal and Blake. Cal, I can't put into not much significance because that was such a significant part of the story where, like, Cal, and again, you know, Cal ended up, I'm going to actually throw him in B tier because that was just such a significant part of the story when he killed Kiki, like, or at least enabled the killing of Kiki. But that was like such a dominating part of the story for so long. And Cal was really, I'd say, the one member. I mean, because granted, he wasn't a member for long. But he was the one, like, member of Team Meteor who actually kind of got a, like, redemption arc in that, where he actually kind of goes, compared to, like, fucking Fern or Bennett's has. Yeah, I'm going to actually bump him up to A tier. Because, you know, he actually, like, and I mean, obviously, Victoria doesn't fully forgive him. But, you know, that's realistic, right? He kind of goes through his own sort of, not, I don't want to say redemption arc, but sort of his own, freaking, you know, he goes through his own, like, experience of, basically his own way of trying to make up for, you know, Kiki's, enabling Kiki's death, right? You know, I think Blake I'm going to bump to A tier for basically that same reason. You know, where, like, where Aster, like, I think it's interesting because where Aster and Eclipse have kind of, like, its siblings together, right? Siblings together strong on Team Meteor. You know, instead, Cal and Blake have this sort of rivalry, right? And, you know, it's a point of splitting. I think these two, like, sets of characters are done extremely well. You know what? I'm going to bump these two up to freaking S tier because I do think that the level of development, again, for kind of a similar reason for Dr. Connell, except, like, I think what's realistic about these two is when the it's Eclipse who ends up dying, right? You know, Aster kind of, he just throws in the towel. He's like, all right, I'm done with this shit, you know? And then, again, eventually we get their reunion, right? You know, but, like, he, like, you know, that kind of, like, it shows that sibling bond, right? And then these two are at each other's throats, right? Okay, again, Team Meteor's the point of splitting, but it's also kind of a realistic, like how Cal had a pretty realistic sort of way of trying to make up for what he did. I think Aster, it was a realistic, like, he had a realistic, you know, sort of reaction and response, you know, basically just dropping what he was doing, right? To, again, the passing of his sibling. Like, it wasn't something where, like, he blamed us. Instead, it was like, you know, he put that on Team. Oh, brother, I just saw who's next. Tara. I don't fucking know how to. I'm going to give them their own goddamn tier because I really don't know how to rank their fucking character. I don't know how the fuck. Like, it is low-key funny that their character kind of ended up. I remember more of their character relation to fucking Lynn than, like, Anna or Noel. Where, like, Tara ended up being, like, the adoptive, like, older sibling. Right? Like, or it wasn't Tara Lawler, it was Tara Raw or whatever, you know. But, like, they get their own tier. Because, like, I don't fucking know how to. Like, their character is just so wonky. Like, I don't fucking know where to put them. I could probably put it at the bottom. Again, it's just, like, freaking. Their character is just so wild from the start. Like, you know, I mean, between the whole. Because, like, low key, for a while, it was, like, legit. Tara killed off, like, half of the entire fucking team. Like, she killed off, like, half of the main fucking team. You know, with the, like, final challenge in Labrador, right? You know, when we were going through, like, that arena, she legit, like, killed off half the entire cast. And then, again, she's magically able to, like, bring... All right, no, that was Lynn, but... And then she just self-deletes, but... Again, like, her character is just so wonky, but... Oh, my fucking God. Kane. Is Kane's sister on here? I'm an idiot. This is Kane's sister. Because I do actually, that's why I'm like, now I remember them in sort of relation to their characters, right? I'm going to put them in A. I actually, for as fucking zesty as hell as Kane was, I actually really did like his character. And I'm kind of, it is honestly like surprisingly deep, like in terms of the relation of him with his sister, right? Kind of with like Cal and Blake. Like they, again, the whole thing where he kind of runs away and puts it inadvertently puts the pressure of dealing with his family on his sister, right? You know, like I think it's surprisingly deep. Like I really like how this game does a lot of the sibling relations between Cal and Blake, between Aster and Clips, between Kane and then his sister, right? You get sort of partner relationships, right, between Titania and Emery. I really don't remember anything about Anna Noel or even Lynn, right? Well, not Lynn, but again, you know, just Victoria. Same thing, A tier. Because Victoria really was kind of our, I mean, not rival. I don't want to say a partner either. That's crazy. But Victoria was, again, kind of the character. Honestly, I'm going to dump. I'm going to leave him in A tier. No reason to, like, super sort this out. Like, because, again, freaking, like, Victoria's character was really kind of the one who was with us, like, the whole time, right? I mean, at least up until, because once we get to, like, the Apophel Academy, that's when her character, and she takes over for Kiki, that's when her character kind of becomes less relevant, and we see her less throughout. But it's still, like, sort of a passive, like, we still go back, and we still do that whole post-game quest. Like, really, I mean, fuck. Like, look at our, like, the main character of Reborn. We literally look like siblings, right? Like, I would say Victoria is like that, like, sibling figure towards us, the protagonist. I mean, not in the literal sense. I don't think we're, like, literally siblings. But as to where, like, Fern becomes the douche rival, right? Like, she's, like, the again, you know, the friendly rival, right? You know, Kane is the fucking zesty one, right? But Victoria is the friendly one. And that's, like, the only thing preventing her from being S tier is, again, like, because that's usually how I do these A tier characters, right? Like, the only thing preventing fucking these two from being an S tier is, again, you know, I think Blake could get some more development, and then his character isn't tied to Cal's. Again, Kane, I'm not putting his ass in S tier. Fucking, he's way too zesty for that. And then Victoria, her character, like, I wish we saw her more throughout the game, right? So, all right, just got a random ass. You can't see it, but I got a random ass Strava notification. Julia, I'm putting Julia in B tier. Let's be honest, low-key, Julia kind of doesn't get, like, any character, but, like, her character stays consistent. From the first fucking gym leader where she's, like, blowing shit up to, like, literally the rest of the game, her character stays fucking consistent as shit. But, like, low-key, she kind of doesn't, like, her character doesn't go through any changes at all. Like, she doesn't have a character arc. Like, it just stays consistent. But, like, that is something I respect, where it's, like, they just roll with her character throughout the entire game. And, like, genuinely, you know, Florinia. I'm putting in Florinia with fucking Fern. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really pay attention to the family drama that, holy shit, can I please do this? I didn't really pay attention to the family drama that Florinia and Fern had, because that was like, it was so late in the game that was introduced, that it was like, I mean, I kind of just brushed it off at that point. I just kind of brushed it off at that point. But again, it is like, you know, again, it's something to where it's like, I mean, I do like, because we do get, like, the brief glimpses of humanity into Florinia, and you kind of tell being Fern's sibling has had an impact on her. So, like, I did almost kind of like it in that sense, right? Like, Cal and Blake's beef was very obvious. Same thing with Kane and then his sisters. But with Fern and Florinia, it kind of wasn't. But you just knew that, again, like, there was some sort of sibling rivalry, something happened between them. They kind of, I guess at the end of the game, it kind of comes out, right? But then it's like, I mean, by that point, it's whatever. But anyway. So throwing Florinia, all right, Taka. I'm putting Taka in A tier. Honestly, I think his character is done extremely well. Here's the problem. My problem is he died on, and honestly, I'm a drop. No, I don't want to drop Victoria because my only issue with Taka's character is I know there are routes where he survived, and if I had played those routes, you know what? I'm gonna put him in B tier. In B tier for the same reason that I put I put Lin in C tier, right? If they differentiated between the two characters of Lin, that'd be different, right? For Taka, I think it's because I think Taka is seemingly the one by far the most out of any character who's like impacted by the route you pick. Because the route I picked, he died. And there's no, but there are routes. Seemingly, literally every other route, he survives. And that's something where if I was able to see his character development through till the end, I've no doubt he'd be an S tier character. But, and I mean, even then, no, I'm keeping him in A tier. Because he kind of does get, even in the route I picked, a character arc in development. Like with Ace, right? Where, you know, again, they kind of realize and go against Team Meteor and what it's sort of, they were the early ones to recognize that the power dynamics in Team Meteor are shifting and they were killed off for it, right? Yeah, freaking Titania gutted Taka, you know, so again, like I am gonna give like, but if I have no doubt he would be an S tier, honestly probably be the best character in the entire game if I was able to see his character through till the end, which unfortunately I'm not. Is this hold on, is that freaking Corey? That is Corey, right? So this is the freaking, so oh my god, so yeah, this is the, because I remember he's freaking Koga. I'm gonna put him in B tier, and I just wish I remember like more of these, because also where's so which one's Heather, right? So Corey, bro, I love how freaking Dr. Sigmund Connell. So which one's Heather? Because I do, all right, yeah, Heather. So I'm putting these two here just because it is like, again, you know, I that was, because that was really the first glimpse into like the whole, and I do hate that this never really got fleshed out. And again, it's because the entire game decided to just focus on Lin. The whole thing with the 4 like different pendants, right? You know, that gain access to like Arceus or whatnot, you know. So it is something to, like, that's in sort of the tragedy of, you know, like, I think they tried to make Corey like an Itachi level. I don't think they got to that point, right? But, you know, with his character, right? You know, hold on. What I'm going to do is, so Pokemon Reborn characters. Because I'm going to try to put names to faces. Why is Terra the first fucking one that shows up? Dude, why is Terra the first fucking one that shows up? Holy shit. Alright, goddamn. I was like, dude, why is Terra the first protagonist? Okay, who did we pick? So we got Vero. I forgot we could actually pick our character in this. Because I did the personality test for Rejuvenation, but I don't know if I did that for this one. I think I just picked a character. Because I think I literally picked him because he was a white male. And that, you know, I was like, all right, so rivals, Kane, Fern, Victoria, Adrian, Emery, Aya. Aya again, because that's, I'm trying, Charlotte. What's Charlotte's deal? What was Charlotte's whole deal? Yeah, what was Charlotte's whole deal? I genuinely don't remember her character arc. What was Charlotte's whole deal? I honest to God don't remember her character. Is she Hardy's? I thought Hardy was related to, I don't fucking. Sapphira, Sarah. I don't remember these characters. Shelly. Damn, I don't have any friends. Loser. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the same Shelly from fucking, they're related to Bugcatcher. Miss DJ Arclight. All right, DJ Arclight. L. Have we fucking... So this was Elias's dad. All right. Why do we get just question marks? Kiki? That's Kiki? All right, I'm a fucking dumbass then. I was going to say, I don't know why I thought Kiki had black hair. I got to put Kiki with Victoria. I mean, I'm putting Kiki with Victoria. And the reason, because, like, if we're being real, I mean, hey, respect for Kiki for standing up to... That was such a pivotal fucking... I just think... That, like, I think there are two extremely well done plot points in the main story. Kiki's death in everything along that involving Team Meteor, Solaris, Cal, Victoria, us. That entire sequence was done so well. And then the Siege of Labrador. I think those are two sequences that are done extremely well. And have... The first one doesn't even really have a ton of buildup, but it has a ton of ramification. And then the second one has just a ton of buildup, right? So, I need to put name to face. Laura, I genuinely don't remember what she does. Because I think the problem is a lot of these... Who the fuck is this? And of course we get the big baddies, right? Who... Am I dumb? I was going to say, like... Because there are... I mean, to be fair, this is probably only up to a certain point. Yeah, dude, I'm really trying to put name to face here. I'm trying to put name to face. Because the problem is, I genuinely don't remember who the fuck this person... I don't know. Like, who the hell are these people? Is this Zero? Oh my god, freaking lag. Characters. Alright. Well, if I just go to freaking Team Meteor. Yeah, go to Pokemon Reborn Team Meteor. I want to see, because I want to confirm if that is Zero. Where's Zell? My man Zell. Yeah, Zero. I want to see, is that Zero? Wait, I'm a fucking dumbass. This is literally Zero. Then... Okay, so I guess the body is Zell. Just then, who the fuck is this guy? Dude, that's why I'm like, there's so many. Like, I'm really trying to put name to face here. So Zero, he is actually because Zell wears the Aster and Eclipse. Dude, I literally fucking Fern, dude. Come on, man. Oh, dude, I love how I will say I do love how like Team Meteor actually gets their own characters. That's so cool. Yeah, and L's followers, right? Yeah, Solar, Sirius, Taka, and Zell. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm kind of losing my... Because, like, I figure if I don't remember enough of these, or at least don't remember enough of their arc to have, like, significance. Hold on. Are these fucking devs? Are some of these devs? Like, I'm pretty sure these guys might be devs. I swear to God, I've seen these 5 in the game. I swear to God, I haven't seen these 5 at all in the game. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Are these devs? I feel like they have to be, because I just genuinely do not remember them. These might be devs, honestly. I was going to say, if I had to go off on a limb, I think these are devs. And you know what? Let me put home. Where the fuck is Radimus? I do remember because so Radimus was with Sarah. Luna was like the kid who was fucking who was Luna related to? Dude, I swear to God, my brain is working on maximum capacity. Who was Luna related to? Noel. That's where Noel comes in. Because freaking it wasn't Noel and Anna. It was Anna and Lynn, right? I swear to God, I am like, my brain is working at maximum capacity to figure out these people's like relations to each other. Yeah, my brain is working at like absolute maximum capacity. Fucking bump Julia down. I just like this being freaking Terra gets their own Yeah, and then anyway, I think this is the final list because I swear to God, these 5 got to be devs. I do not, because like at least these 4, the ones who are remaining, I can kind of put name to face, right? Like, I can put name to face, you know. But I just don't really. I'm pretty sure they were all part of. I think they were literally all part of freaking Doctor. I think this guy. I don't think this guy actually really did anything. I think he was just a gym leader, right? But these 3 I do think are all part of. So I'm gonna freaking bump these 3 up to, because they just don't have enough of an impact on their own. But I do think that, again, the whole thing is that I'm pretty sure all these 3 were part of Doctor. And then I swear to God, dude, these 5 have to be devs. These got to be dev sprites, because I swear to God, I do not remember seeing any of these throughout the entire goddamn story. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think this is where I'm going to leave it, right? I think this, all right, Terra just gets their own tier. My favorites of Team Meteor, Zero, is this Eve or Lumi? I don't even remember. But the components of Zell, Sirius, and then Aster and Eclipse. If Aster and Eclipse didn't get their post-game development, they'd probably be in B tier. But with seeing their like whole story arc, gotta include them. A tier, we got Solaris, right? We got Elias. This is Elias, right? We got Dr. Connell, Ace, Taka, Cal, Blake, Kane, his sister, and then Victoria and Kiki, right? Again, for all reasons I mentioned, B tier, C tier, D tier, and then I swear to God, these got to be devs. But again, it's like, I swear to God, I really had to work. And just got a random ass text from my dad. Again, you know, hopefully, like, I'm going to forget everything, right? It's just, there's so many goddamn characters to keep track of. Like, that is one thing, because, like, Insurgents, there's like not nearly as many, right? You know, not nearly as many. I do think like, and again, this is my general trend, and this is what I've said. If they just would have dropped the whole Lynn storyline, if like this little gremlin was not the like main focus of the post game, like, I think the game would have been so much better. I think the post game would have been so much better. Everyone would have gotten that much more development, right? You know. But, you know, this is what we got, right? So it is what it is. I'm going to end this here, right? Yeah, just, I swear to God, these 5 got to be devs. I do not remember seeing a single one of these people in the game, but who knows? I'm probably wrong. It's just been a minute. But with that, don't really have anything else to say. So, yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.